Steeler Nation, I'd like to apologize first today for the lateness of my address to you. I've been mourning the 17 losing seasons of the Pittsburgh Pirates. But we must move beyond that, Steeler Nation. We must move to the task at hand. And that is, the 2009 football season begins in just a few short hours. I'm excited and I know you're excited. I can smell halushki and halupki and all kinds of other things cooking. But ladies and gentlemen, I say to you that tonight, we have unfinished business left over from last year. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how could we have unfinished business from last year? We won the AFC North. We defeated the Baltimore Ravens not once, not twice, but 3 times. We won the AFC, and then we went on to win Super Bowl 43 in the greatest game ever played, defeating the Arizona Cardinals, or as I like to call them, the poor man's Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers West Coast edition. And we collected our 6th Super Bowl win. What business could we have left over? Well, Steeler Nation, I've got to take you back last year. The Steelers went into Tennessee, and they were defeated by the Titans. And though we made a lot of mistakes that day, the biggest mistakes that were made that day were made by a man named Bullock, a man named Curse, and a man named White. Those 3 men decided to defile and besmirch one of the greatest men ever in the history of this world, Myron Cope. And they did that by besmirching his invention, the terrible towel. They have not sought repentance in the months since that happening. Now for Mr. Bullock, Mr. Curse, and Mr. White, who I will now refer to as the axis of evil, tonight, the full power of the Steeler Nation is going to be unleashed upon you. Mr. Curse and Mr. Bullock, they play for the Titans defense. And tonight they will face the pounding running of Willie Parker. They will face the mighty arm of Ben Roethlisberger. And the speed, who was that? That was Santonio Holmes running by you for another touchdown. But it's Mr. Lendell White. He's a running back for the Tennessee Titans, Steeler Nation. He's a running back. He's going to face tonight the greatest force ever known to man. Greater than the Roman Empire. Greater than other great forces we've had in the world. A force so great that it makes the Roman gods and the Greek gods stop and go, woo. And that's the Pittsburgh Steeler defense. The steel curtain. Lendell White, each time you step on the field, you're going to have to face those men. And I tell you tonight, James Harrison is going to break you. Troy Polamalu is going to scrape you off Heinz Field and throw you in the river. And you can float back down to Tennessee, son. Besmirching our terrible towel was the worst mistake you've made. Not finding redemption for it. Not pleading for repentance. For tonight, the axis of evil will not just step onto another field for another game. They will step onto Heinz Field. They will not just stand in front of a hostile crowd. You're going to stand at the epicenter of the Steeler Nation tonight. And they will just not face another team. This is not the Jaguars or the Titans, boys. These are the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 6-time Super Bowl champions. The greatest franchise in the history of the world. And I say to you tonight that we will find redemption. You will beg for repentance. And the skies will part. And Myron Cope himself will drop down and say, not tonight, boys. Tonight is Steeler night.